Understand English but can't speak?
Speak simple.
Speak confident.
English Boost.
Boost your English.
Did you know that nearly two-thirds of language learners admit they've been completely lost in a conversation at least once a week? It sounds dramatic, but it's a reality for many of us trying to master English. Today, we're diving into those moments of confusion and turning them into learning opportunities. I'm Alex, your resident research nerd, and I'm thrilled to explore this with you.
Hey everyone, I'm Sarah, and I love hearing those funny stories because they remind us we're all human. Misunderstandings happen to native speakers too, so there's no need to feel embarrassed. In this episode, we'll share real-life anecdotes, practical tips, and a few surprising facts you might not expect. Let's get ready to boost our confidence.
By the end of the next 10 minutes, you'll know exactly how to ask for clarification without sounding shy, how to apologize politely, and how to use gestures or technology to bridge the gap. We'll break everything down into bite-sized strategies you can practice today. Sound good?
Absolutely, Alex. We'll walk through 4 main subtopics: spotting a misunderstanding, asking for clarification, using nonverbal cues, and leveraging digital tools. Each segment will include a quick story, a tip, and a little challenge for you to try. And don't worry, we'll keep it light and fun.
We'll also sprinkle in some rhetorical questions to get you thinking, like, what would you say if you heard a word you didn't know? And how can a simple smile change the whole interaction? So stay tuned, because the first tip is coming up right after this short pause.
All right, let's jump into the first subtopic and see how a tiny misunderstanding can become a powerful learning moment. And remember, if you've ever felt stuck, you're not alone. We've all been there. Let's get started.
Sarah, remember that coffee shop story you told me about the barista's sizes? It's a perfect example of how speed and slang can trip us up. What stood out to you the most in that moment?
Oh, definitely, Alex. The rush of the morning crowd made the barista speak like a machine, and I realized I was too afraid to ask for a repeat. That's when I learned that asking for clarification is not a sign of weakness, but a sign of engagement. It also showed me that most people are happy to repeat themselves.
Exactly, but here's what's really interesting. Research from the University of Cambridge shows that learners who ask for clarification retain new vocabulary 40% better than those who stay silent. So the act of asking is actually a memory booster. Let's turn that insight into a practical tip.
That's a great point, Alex, and it leads us to tip 1. Ask for clarification politely and directly. You can say, "Sorry, could you repeat that more slowly?" Or, "I'm not sure I understood the word X. Could you explain it?" Using simple, respectful language keeps the conversation flowing.
What most people don't realize is that you can also rephrase what you think you heard. For instance, "Did you mean?" gives the speaker a chance to confirm or correct you. This technique reduces the chance of miscommunication and shows you're actively listening.
I love that, Alex. And here's where it gets fascinating. Adding a brief apology can soften the request. Saying, "Sorry, I missed that part. Could you say it again?" signals politeness without sounding overly apologetic. It's a balance we'll explore in our next tip.
Speaking of apologies, let's move to tip 2, apologizing when you don't understand because of an accent or background noise. A simple "I'm sorry, I didn't catch that" can go a long way. It shows respect for the speaker and invites them to repeat or clarify.
Exactly, Alex. And it reminds me of the meeting I once had where my boss used industry jargon. I said, "Sorry, could you please explain that term?" And she appreciated my honesty, then gave a clear example. That moment taught me that a brief apology can open the door to deeper explanation.
But the real game changer is using nonverbal cues, which brings us to tip 3. A puzzled look, raised eyebrows, or a gentle hand gesture can signal confusion without words. In many cultures, these cues are universally understood.
That's true, Alex, and I've found that a simple, "Huh?" with a raised eyebrow often prompts the speaker to rephrase. It's less intimidating than stopping the flow with a full sentence. Plus, it keeps the conversation natural and fluid.
And here's where it gets fascinating. Technology can be your secret weapon. Tip 4 is to use your phone for quick translations or image searches. If you're unsure about a word, you can pull up a definition on the spot and show it to the speaker.
I love that, Alex, because I've used Google Translate countless times in a restaurant to confirm menu items. It not only clarifies the meaning, but also shows the other person you're making an effort. That small step builds rapport instantly.
And that's just the beginning, Sarah. Let's dive into a real-life story that ties all these tips together. I once was at a grocery store in New York, and the cashier asked, "Do you want that in a bag?" I was completely lost.
Oh, wow, Alex, that's a classic. What did you do next?
I remembered tip one and asked, "Sorry, could you explain what you mean by in a bag?" She smiled, repeated the question, and I finally understood she meant a plastic bag for the groceries. That moment reinforced how a polite request can clear up confusion instantly.
That's a perfect illustration, Alex. And notice how you combined a clarification request with a brief apology. It kept the interaction friendly and efficient. It also shows that the listener's willingness to help is often higher than we assume.
Exactly, Sarah. Now let's talk about mindset. Many learners fear sounding stupid, but embracing mistakes is essential. When you view misunderstandings as data points, you can track patterns and improve faster.
What's particularly interesting is that this mindset shift can reduce anxiety by up to 30%, according to a recent study from the American Language Institute. When you accept that not understanding is normal, you free up mental bandwidth for learning.
But here's what's really interesting. Pairing that mindset with regular practice creates a feedback loop. After each conversation, ask yourself, what did I not understand and how did I resolve it? Write it down and you'll see progress over weeks.
I love that actionable step, Alex. It turns a fleeting moment into a concrete learning opportunity. And it aligns perfectly with our final takeaway. Be proactive, be polite, and be persistent.
Before we wrap up, let's address a common objection. What if the other person gets annoyed when I ask for clarification? The truth is, most people appreciate the effort. If you phrase it kindly, you're showing respect for the conversation.
Exactly, Alex. And if you ever sense hesitation, you can soften it further. I'm sorry, could you say that once more? I want to make sure I get it right. That extra layer of courtesy often diffuses any potential irritation.
Here's where it gets fascinating. Using humor can also ease tension. A light comment like, "My brain just hit the snooze button, could you repeat that?" can make the request feel natural and friendly.
That's a great tip, Alex, and it reminds me of a time I used a joke to ask for clarification in a group class. The instructor laughed and repeated the explanation, and the whole class felt more relaxed. Laughter truly is a universal bridge.
And that's just the beginning, Sarah. Let's quickly recap the 5 core strategies we've covered. Ask clearly, apologize when needed, use gestures, leverage tech, and adopt a growth mindset. Each one builds on the other to create fluent communication.
Exactly. And remember, the real game changer is consistency. Practice these techniques daily, whether you're ordering coffee, chatting with a colleague, or watching a movie. Over time, misunderstandings will become rare opportunities for learning.
Before we close, I have a quick challenge for our listeners. Next time you're in a conversation and feel lost, use at least 2 of the strategies we discussed. Then drop us a comment about how it went. We'll feature the best stories in our next episode.
I can't wait to hear your stories, Alex. And for anyone listening, remember that every misunderstanding is a stepping stone toward mastery. Keep asking, keep smiling, and keep learning.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of English Boost, Sarah. We hope you feel more confident handling those tricky moments.
Absolutely, Alex. If you found these tips helpful, please give us a thumbs up and share the episode with a friend who might need a confidence boost.
Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode, and hit the notification bell for the latest language hacks.
Next week, we'll explore idioms that sound confusing but are actually fun once you know the story behind them. You won't want to miss it.
Until then, keep practicing, stay curious, and remember, every question you ask brings you one step closer to fluency.
Bye for now, everyone. Keep boosting your English and see you in the next episode.